Hello everyone, this is Turin here, and today guys I'm here with another Total War Warhammer live BattleCast. In this game we're going to be playing the Warriors of Chaos, and we are facing off against the Empire. So as far as our army composition goes, we're going to get Prince Sigvald. Of course, he did get some nice HP buffs and some other goodies. We're going to get Lord of Metal as well. So the Final Transmutation and Plague of Rust are going to be pretty good at kind of accentuating Sigvald's lack of armor piercing, and plus Final Transmutation is quite strong. Frontline of Chaos Warriors to help deal with greatswords. We do have the Demon Spew for their Swarm of Flies, Swords of Chaos of course, giving Sigvald that Guardian. So it's going to make him even harder to kill. We do have 2 Chaos Warhounds, some Marauders, some Chaos Knights, just kind of a mishmash of random things. But basically we just kind of want to Zerg the Empire down. Because personally, from my anecdotal experience, and you guys will have to let me know as well, but going big against the Empire, going wide is the way to go in my opinion. You got to swarm them. You have to pressure their back line. You have to get into their handgunners. You can't necessarily afford to, get big high-value units. Even though Kolek did get an armor buff, it's still not enough, because the handgunners and the silver bullets and then like a flying lord just kind of hitting him in the back as he flees is it's not going to be a good recipe for success. So yeah, we do have Sigvald, and guys, I honestly think metal is one of the better lores now. It's very strong, has some great utility, and it's the way to go. I'm telling you. So we're gonna get Demon Spew, and we're actually gonna use Demon Spew as a mainline unit because we want to take advantage of that Swarm of Flies to try and get that -8 melee attack. We're also going to be using the Swords of Chaos in the front. They're a unit that's probably going to take a lot of fire from the handgunners and things like that. So prior to engaging, we need to make sure that that we're able to kind of pressure with the hounds a little bit. On the outside of the army, we're going to use some of these lame Chaos Marauders who do not have Enrage. I wish they had done that. I wish they had made the Chaos Marauders have Enrage. I mean, why wouldn't they, right? So we're going to get our Chaos Knights. This is going to be our anti-cav goon squad. One group of hounds over here on the far side of pressure. We'll go ahead and have our other group sitting right here. And then these Forsaken can kind of sit on the wing of my army. So again, we're going very wide. We're going to be trying to just, overwhelm his forces. So for his army composition, he does have 900 troops, which is quite a bit actually for Empire. So probably a lot of flagellants. And I mean, I thought my army was big with like all these freaking marauders and stuff, but geez. Okay, so he does have greatsword. So guys, that's the reason why pretty much in every game you bring armor piercing, just because it's except against like factions like Wood Elves, it's sometimes not worth it. But against Empire, they're always going to bring armor against you when you're playing against really competitive ladder players, from my experience. So you need to have that kind of stopping power with the great weapons in the front, which you wouldn't think, because you see flagellants and Tattersouls and Sigmar Suns and all in a lot of builds, but really you do need that armor piercing. So cool. So let's get these guys running here. We do have some hounds coming around the back here. These guys can be in group 4, so we can go ahead and start running them. And let's go ahead and see. I'm sure he has nets or something. He does have a Witch Hunter, which is actually not bad against like Shaggots and things like that. So I think he was expecting a Shaggot. And if this guy's name sounds familiar, if it's who I think it is, I know he's a pretty high-level ladder player. So hopefully this game will be entertaining for you guys. So let's go ahead and get these Forsaken up around the flank, and we'll go ahead and get our Marauders just kind of running in dirty. So let's run them up and around. We're going to get these guys coming here. These guys can engage right here. These guys is that the order they're in? No, they're actually a little bit out of order there. We'll get these guys going here and here. So great. So our hounds are in the back line, so hopefully we can apply some decent pressure. Let's get our knights going as well. And yeah, everyone's rolling, guys. We're getting ready to have a good old fun time here. So let's get these guys engaged. Let's put some pressure on my opponent. So we do have the hounds in the back, so let's go ahead and just try and shut down these handgunners initially. And Prince Sigvald, of course, we can send him after the General of the Empire. That should be fine. And these Demon Spew can go fight these guys. Our halberds can go right here, and yeah, that's looking good to me. The Forsaken and the flank are going to be quite strong. You can see he's reacting pretty efficiently here, but those Swords of Chaos are just going to wreck those great swords so hard. And I don't mind if we just straight up lose these hounds. So I just want to get in there and shut these guys down so I don't take fire coming in, which is fine. Great. So everyone's fighting for the most part. The Swords of Chaos over here on the far side. We can go ahead and do a bit of a tactical retreat to get these Forsaken pressuring around the outside. And Prince Sigvald, yeah, he can get up here and get down and dirty. So our Chaos Knights, we got to make sure they don't run into those spears. And we do have a Final Transmutation. So we're going to use the Final Transmutation right here, since my opponent has, let's actually save an Overcast. I think that would be really cool. So our Chaos Knights, we can go ahead and get on the back of some of these guys over here. And it looks like everyone in the front line's going well. Let's get these Marauders kind of helping out against some of these spears. So Sigvald is taking quite a bit of damage. Thankfully, he does have his Guardians with him. Oh, no, he doesn't. Oh, that's a big mistake. So let's go ahead and overcast this, and we're going to cast it right here on these guys. And that does a ton of damage. Let's pull some Chaos Knights in to help him out, because I think he's in a little bit of a compromising position. Thankfully, Sigvald is very, very tanky, guys. So cool. So we do get that off, and we do have our Swords of Chaos. So let's get them up and over there as well. And we have gotten into the Hounds and a lot of those backline troops, and we need to get in here and kind of give Sigvald that armor. But look at that Final Transmutation, just doing the huge DPS. And our front line was able to collapse his. We do have the Demon Spew, and it's looking pretty good. You guys can see the balance of power is starting to shift in our favor. So yeah, guys, I'm really loving Chaos with this new DLC. They have a lot of cool new units. Being able to kind of play around with the Guardian mechanic is so strong. So let's go ahead and plague rust this guy. I mean, we're fighting. He did pop some potions and different things like that, so we can go ahead and get in there. And Sigvald does have Guardian now, so you guys can see that buff appearing on the bottom. So let's look, make sure we don't have anything routing. Looks like we're able to kind of pretty heavily compromise this side. So let's get these Marauders just, kind of tar pitting these Spearmen. We'll make sure to cast Arcane Conduit, and we do have the Demogryph Knights engaged on by some of our armor-piercing infantry, which is very, very solid. So right now we're kind of zerging on his Empire Captain, some of these other troops, and it seems to be going well. So let's get them engaged, and I think, yeah, just looking around, I don't think he has any threats coming back. He does have some handgunners, but I think we were able to just kind of munch on those guys. You can see he does get his Demogryph Knights coming in, but we'll come in and sandwich. And Sigvald's regeneration right now is just doing great, but that Earthblood, my opponent, still proccing, still going strong. So let's get that Jade Wizard. Healing did get nerfed. It's still not bad, though, guys. It's still, like, worth bringing in. The Swords of Chaos, even though I don't think they do very well against Demogryph Knights, they still can trade efficiently because they do have good AP values. So it looks like the Apocalyptic Vision has been popped. We do have his Jade Wizard surrounded, so right now we're just going to save up for another final transmutation in case the fight goes that long. And then from there, we should be able to kind of take the day. So cool, let's get on this guy right here. We do have the Demogryph Knights in the back line who are taking a bit of a hammering. You can see they're starting to get pretty low against my my Swords of Chaos. Man, I really like those units. But Demon Spew are also very good. So you guys have to think, in this main pocket right now, he's taking -8 melee attack on everything, which is really big. I mean, it's very Nurgle-esque, which I like quite a bit, very thematic. We could go ahead and overcast this on these guys, or who do I want to get here? That's the General of the Empire. He's broken due to army losses. Yeah, it's over at this point. I think everything's breaking. So well played to my opponent, Celtic Cross. It looks like he does have the Sigmar Suns here. So yeah, guys, Swords of Chaos, I'm telling you, MVPs. Only 25 kills, but nonetheless, they did some amazing shock damage to those greatswords and were able to provide Guardian. So Sigvald was in trouble. It gave Chaos counterplay to Focus Fire, which I thought was really cool. But my opponent's army was good. I might have cut the Spearmen with the shields. I think he was just going for the higher melee defense, perhaps. But nonetheless, handgunners are good. Greatswords aren't bad. Some halberds would have been nice, I think, to help out against some of my knights and different things like that. But yeah, well played. It was super fun. But Sigvald's solid. Lore Metal is really good. You guys saw how much damage that final transmutation did. It got a huge buff. Granted, that was overcasted. It cost like 25 Winds of Magic, which is nothing to sneeze at. Chaos Warriors in the front line performed great. I mean, they trade pretty evenly with greatswords, and I think they cost less. The Demon Spew, 110 kills. I mean, that's heavy. Granted, we have had them fighting Flagellants, and the Flagellants had their melee attack lowered by the Swarm of Flies, which was really strong. Our Knights did okay in the back. We were able to get a little bit of pressure. The Hounds, obviously a sacrificial tool, but you have to have Hounds to beat the Empire. You have to. You have to get onto their missiles, because if those handgunners had been able to fire onto my Swords of Chaos or pretty much anything else, I probably would have just gotten, put down pretty heavily by that gunfire. So again, really well played to my opponent, Celtic Cross. Hopefully you guys enjoyed that live Battlecast, and guys, more content coming soon.